Hey, I'm Charles Hoffman from Black Ghost Audio, and I've teamed up with Sonicscoop to bring you an overview of Kali Audio's active 3-way IN-5 studio monitors. Big shout out to Kali Audio for making this video possible. They sent me a pair of IN-5s to demo and play around with, so let's check them out. The main thing that makes these monitors unique is that they use a 3-way design. This means that there's a woofer, mid-range driver, and tweeter built into the monitors. The 5-inch woofer produces low-end frequencies, the 4-inch mid-range driver produces mid-range frequencies, and the tweeter produces high-end frequencies. Most studio monitors at this price point use a 2-way design, which consists of a woofer and tweeter. The benefit of the mid-range driver that the IN-5s provide is that you get more mid-range detail, and this takes some of the load off of the woofer and tweeter as well. So how does this actually affect your mixes? I previously owned a pair of 2-way monitors that didn't provide very good mid-range detail, and my mixes suffered because of that. It was incredibly difficult to tell if I had de-essed vocals properly, either too much or not enough. What I was listening to just wasn't clear enough to make an informed decision. I would render out a mix, listen to it through some different playback systems, and at that point I could tell that something was off, but going through that whole process was a waste of time. With the IN-5s, I don't have to do that, which is fantastic. You may have actually noticed that the tweeter and mid-range driver are coaxial with each other, meaning that the tweeter is sitting within the mid-range driver. There are two big benefits that come along with this type of design. For starters, you have a lot of freedom when it comes to positioning the monitors. You can place them right side up or on their side, and this is important because Kali Audio recommends that you align the tweeters of these monitors within 15 degrees of your ears. As you move your ears out of that range, the sound is going to become a little softer and less detailed. In my studio, I can set the IN-5s right side up because I have the space for it, but your studio might be arranged a little different than mine. You might have some stuff sitting on your desk that you want to place your monitors on top of, and by turning the IN-5s on their sides, you'll be able to achieve the recommended ear alignment. When you turn a pair of monitors on their side that aren't meant to be turned on their side, you'll end up reducing the size of your listening sweet spot since the waveguide isn't meant to be positioned that way. If you shift your upper body a little to the left while mixing, or a little to the right, your stereo image is going to start to fall apart. Since the IN-5's mid-range driver and tweeter are coaxial, and as a result of the crossover with the woofer, you can place the IN-5s on their side without worrying about reducing the size of your listening sweet spot. These are front-ported monitors, meaning that you can place them close to a wall without significant bass buildup. This makes the IN-5s perfect for small to moderately sized home studios. If you place rear-ported monitors up against a wall, the bass will couple with the wall and make bass management a complete nightmare. In a large space, rear-ported monitors are great because you don't hear any noisy turbulence when sound leaves the port since it's facing away from you. This noise is referred to as chuffing. When a bass port is designed poorly, air leaves the port at different speeds and chuffing can be quite a problem. Kali Audio did a really great job with the design of the IN-5 bass ports. I haven't noticed any chuffing at all, and given the fact that I'm working in a somewhat small studio, the front-ported design is perfect for me. With my previous monitors, self-noise was a huge issue. I'd turn my monitors on and I could hear that they were on because they would produce constant low-level noise. All electronics produce some level of self-noise, but a good pair of studio monitors should provide a low self-noise level. Since the IN-5s are near-field monitors, the stakes are high because the intention is that you're going to place them within just a few feet of your ears, and the closer they are to your ears, the more audible that self-noise is going to be. Far-field monitors tend to have larger drivers and they might get placed further away from your ears than near-field monitors, so self-noise won't be as audible. Kali Audio's IN-8s, which are the larger version of the IN-5s, were somewhat criticized for their self-noise level when they were released. Kali Audio actually took note of this and drastically improved the self-noise performance of the IN-5s, which were released after the IN-8s. A different chip and amp architecture were used in the IN-5s to achieve this, and recently a second wave of IN-8s were released with the updated amp architecture as well. If you stick your ear right up against one of these monitors, you can hear that there's some level of self-noise, which is expected, but if you're sitting 2 to 3 feet away, it's not noticeable, and that's the goal. One of my favorite things about these monitors is the suite of boundary EQ tunings on the back. When you play sound through a set of monitors in a room, the position of the monitors and the stuff in the room can color the sound you hear, either boosting certain frequencies or reducing certain frequencies. You can EQ the sound of the monitors to compensate using these dip switches. As you can see, each scenario corresponds to a different dip switch configuration. Whether your monitors are freestanding, placed on a console, or sitting on top of a desk, there's an EQ setting for you. These boundary EQ settings work with room calibration software like SonarWorks Reference. You'll set up your monitors, use the dip switch settings that match your setup, and then run through the reference calibration process afterward. The further you can dial in the sound at your listening position prior to using software like this, the more effectively it's going to work. This means that the boundary EQ built into the IN-5s can help you get the most out of your room calibration software. As you can see, there are also high frequency and low frequency trim options. Whether or not you decide to use them is up to you. The IN-5s are quite accurate, but you may have a particular preference when it comes to how much bass you like to hear while mixing, and the trim controls let you customize the sound. Based purely on the fact that these are three-way monitors, you'd probably assume that they sit somewhere within that $500 to $1,000 price range per monitor, but that's actually not the case. Each IN-5 costs $350, and the interesting thing about this is that you don't really see three-way monitors at this price point. I really don't have too much criticism for these monitors because I think you're really getting your money's worth. If Kali Audio tried to pack in a bunch of gimmicky stuff like an app-controlled boundary EQ, it would boost the price and not do a whole lot for the sound quality. The reason that I think this company has done so well and has been able to break into the studio monitor market in the way that they have is because they've placed their focus on affordable, high-quality sound, and it looks like they've been able to achieve this through good design. For example, a bass port is just a piece of plastic that you can mold into any shape you want when manufacturing speaker cabinets, meaning it costs just as much to manufacture a well-designed bass port as it does a poorly designed bass port. The difference is whether or not you know what you're doing, and Kali Audio clearly does its homework. So who are these monitors for? Well, based on the features that the IN-5s provide and their price point, I think these monitors are ideal for small home studio owners who want to get more serious about mixing and mastering their music. You will notice a significant improvement in sound quality if you've been using two-way monitors in that $150 to $200 price range. Maybe you want to start providing mixing services through SoundBetter or doing local work for clients. Whatever it might be, I think the IN-5s are going to help you improve your turnaround times and make mixing a much less tedious process overall. Hit that like button if this video helped you out, and if you're looking for more great music production content, make sure to subscribe to the Sonicscoop and Black Ghost Audio YouTube channels. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.